Good morning.
Wow, great.
So many. No.
I was told
She's
this
the
was a
best
Starbucks.
hype man ever.
Dude,
I
seriously.
love
Isn't
her.
that awesome?
So welcome to our morning talk show here on the new cast of The View.
Brought to you by Mutant Soda. Coming in flavors like red.
It really is.
And
brought to you by
ambiguous.
Soda.
And cloudy with air bubbles. I like that it's Kessler saying
Yeah, it works out well.
What do we do?
What do we do here, guys?
I guess first and foremost, who here watches Critical Role? Raise your hand if you are really confused and have never seen anything involved with it. All right, we got a few people in the audience.
You people
Good
know what
friend,
to do.
good friend.
Yes.
We apologize in advance. You're going to be very confused. But yeah, welcome. So we're a bunch of nerdy-ass voice actors who play D&D. It began with our home game, and about 3 years ago we started streaming it, and it seems to continuously...
We're really classy,
What
y'all.
we're doing now? Here comes welcome to my abode.
Sorry.
No, I like it this way. It's more casual. We're all just hanging out, guys.
We're just regular people who don't know how to. Tuck and roll, tuck and roll. Go.
That's some dad acrobatics.
We will tear a meniscus before this panel is over. We'll find a way to hurt ourselves.
Well, here, you guys mostly know stuff about us, so we won't bore you with talking about ourselves when you could ask us questions that make us all nervous. So do you want to go straight into the Q&A and we can have a conversation? I think this is a good plan. So,
Yes, let's do it.
we have on both sides of the room, I believe, lines to ask questions. We'll be alternating folks as they go. Look for the individual holding the mic and get behind the line carefully.
To answer, you have to do a runway walk.
Yeah. Which side do we start on? I just said which shark.
Your choice, Travis.
Yeah.
Where do you want to start?
Let's go with that side.
Oh, yay, first, hi. My name's Carla, blame Carla on Twitter. Hi, everybody. Oh, hi, Carla.
Hi.
My question is for anybody who wants to answer it. Invariably, the narrative sort of dictates things about your character. What's the most interesting thing the narrative has given you?
So what's the most interesting thing the narrative has given your character that you weren't initially anticipating?
Craven Edge. A good narrative gift. It's a sword that talks. It wants death.
I didn't. What is it? What thing happened out of our control?
What thing in the narrative informs something about your character you weren't anticipating that you liked?
All questions for Liam have to be in German, by the way.
Eine Frage? Eine Frage?
Yeah, that's been unexpected. One the whole party name.
We should practice that right now. 9?
Nice.
It seems so weird. I don't know.
One entire country is just going, they just love to say no.
It's like, man, I'm really glad that Rammstein's making a comeback.
Not in this campaign, but you presented me with Kaylee at some point. It was pretty unexpected and dirty.
You tried to hit on your daughter.
Can I just say how grateful I am that young Molly Mock in the front row has got earbuds on and is playing an iPad game.
That is so on character, I can't even begin to tell you.
Good question, thank you.
Molly Mock's playing Dream Daddy, just zoned out.
Oh yeah.
Next question.
Pickup. thank you for coming to the Midwest so that I could not, fly forever to get to where you guys are. My question is, if you guys, as people or as your characters, were one of the Hogwarts house founders, what would your house name be, and what would the traits you would like to be in your house be?
What would our Hogwarts houses be in campaign 2?
No, if you were a Hogwarts house founder,
What would your house be about?
what would your
its
house
name?
be about, and what would that house name be?
Ooh.
That is a complicated question.
Is from
Yeah.
Mollymog? That's easy. What, would there be a house for dropouts, basically?
J.K. Rowling took like 10 years to write that shit, so like trying to find something on the spot.
I've got one.
Okay. Oh, well, of course you do.
Matt. Runway.
You're up next, Travis. Mine would be House Easy Cry. And basically, you just all sit around and watch movies that are really, really not meant to be emotionally impactful and see which one breaks into tears first.
That's a good house.
I think we'll go with that answer. I don't think anybody's going to top that.
Nah, that's good. That feels
Yeah.
solid.
Yeah. That means they're all apparently part of my house.
But my house animal would definitely be a bear. I know that much.
Thank you.
Next question.
Alright guys, my name is Sarah. I'm here from Chicago. Laura, I hope you liked those donuts yesterday.
Wait, what?
There were donuts?
Yes, you did, and they were so good, and I ate them. I did not share them. You just outed me. That's fine. Anyway, my question.
I saw the box.
I didn't see any donuts.
Man, I'm not really surprised by that.
That 50-foot woman ain't over there.
So my question is, it's been a couple months now since the Critical Role Hamilton crossover soundtrack came out. What is your favorite track or tracks from that album?
Oh, man.
I like the skull debate that we had. That was really good. I listened to that several times. The skull debate was really pretty spectacular.
The Percy Keyleth cabinet debate was also.
Oh, that was awesome. I like
Yeah, both the cabinet debates were really awesome in that.
I'm just waiting for a Dear Evan Hansen something.
Anytime Raishan was singing, I was
gosh, yes.
so cool.
I loved my Vex singer. She sounded amazing.
Yeah, I'm a
Have you
little
met her?
biased.
Yeah, she's
Oh.
here.
Nope. Somebody say yes.
We can talk about her while she doesn't know. I'm a personal fan of Animus, the Percy song. Like that whole era of Percy songs in there were just such a perfect moment of Percival's own like self-loathing and trying to realize if he had purpose or he would fall to his own, devices and failings, and those songs encapsulated it perfectly with the perfect choices from the Hamilton soundtrack for them. So yeah, I'm a big fan of those.
I also really like the song where Pike was teaching Grog how to read.
Oh my god,
How crazy is it that you guys did that? It was like 47 songs or something. It's the entire thing. It's crazy. Oh, you guys are nuts.
if you haven't heard it, it's pretty spectacular. You should go on and you're like, oh, this is like a cute fan musical thing. No, it's really, it's really intense. It's deep. It's very deep. Thank you. Great question.
Back over here.
Hi, I'm Leah from Chicago. Oh my god. Okay.
Oh my God.
You got
I
this.
stepped on you. We were talking in line about our D&D characters, and we came up with a really good you about your characters, I guess from campaign 2. What would your character's favorite brand name cereal be?
And why?
That's a good question.
Do the walk.
I would like to copyright Bash Berries for Grog cereal. Bash Berries.
But what about for your second campaign?
Oh, I don't know.
I would say Captain Crunch, yeah, for you, yeah. He's a seafaring man.
He was not a captain.
I think
the
if
word.
everything ranks you, you gotta.
He just wants him to get soggy.
I think for both Keyleth and Bo, it works to just rebrand Golden Grams to Golden Gods.
That's really good.
Yeah.
There's nothing I can think of that isn't a spoiler at this point.
Could just be Lucky Charms.
I have one more week. I have one more week.
I got one for you.
Charms is really good, actually.
For Molly Mock, it'd be oops, all tattoos.
For not?
What's like a really stinky, dirty cereal?
Calebos.
Mueslicks.
Crackling Oatlix. Mueslic's gonna work perfectly for Caleb.
There's like, isn't there something just like, it's called like something sticks?
What?
For not? It's like a sticks.
There's a Sticks?
Yeah, there's
I've seen it in the cereal aisle too. Yeah, it's like like the most hated cereal in the world. You see it and you're like, you can build things with that. You're not gonna eat it.
I feel like Jester would just be like every sugary cereal.
Cookie Crisp?
Like Cookie Crisp with like Fruity Pebbles, with like Fruit Loops, with Lucky Charms, all mixed in a bowl together.
Is this Jester or from this morning?
The question wasn't what you had for breakfast.
It's a thin membrane.
Ooh, I ordered oatmeal that was like creme brulee oatmeal.
Oh!
It was so sweet though, you guys. Yeah.
Runway Walk.
Good question.
Oh, yeah!
Strutting for two.
Going over?
Hi, my name is Sean. I'm from here in Chicago.
Hi, Sean.
This question is actually for Matt. There have been a lot of references in this new campaign involving the outer world, the moon and stars. So I was just curious, what is the cosmology of your world? Is it a planet in a solar system, or is it Discworld, or something in between?
It's a flat Earth system, right?
A snow globe.
St. Elsewhere.
Yeah, they're planning to shoot up a small orb to see if Exandria's ends at the edge. It's a combination of the two. Meaning, I'm a fan of astrophysics and astronomy. So for me, I'm having to marry my love of that aspect of existence with the strange, obtuse, planar element of Dungeons and Dragons. So I'm kind of finding a merge between the two, where I do believe there is universe, planets, moons, that kind of a larger scope, though that's not anything that's really going to play into this. But then we go into dimensional stuff, far realm elements, the actual different planes that overlap, those that don't. So yeah, I'd say it's a blend of the two, if anything.
New goal for campaign 2, space travel.
Oh man, that'd be a hard left turn if we go into Spelljammer partway through this game.
Flying in the sky wasn't enough for you?
Enough with airships. We want to go outer space.
Oh man, that'd be the fastest TPK. This is partway through the atmosphere. All right, I'm gonna make a constitution check.
DC 40. Yeah.
Nah, rolls a natural 20. Everyone else dies.
Roll for free entry. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Robin. So you go to a lot of cons and get asked a lot of questions
pressure, so I was wondering what's something that you're willing to talk about that you haven't been asked yet that you'd like to answer?
Ooh. What's something you haven't been asked at a convention that you've been wanting to mention or talk about at a panel?
That is a really open question.
It's a question I can always think the answer to about a week from now. I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, why does no one ever ask that? Here, it's just lights and blinding. I have no idea.
Let's talk about cryptocurrency. Okay, guys. Let's just change this panel.
I don't know. I already talked about tiny trains this week.
What's your favorite ice cream flavor?
I've been, and I'm such a fool for marketing. I've just been eating the Halo Top. There's like
Halo Top is so
the pancake flavor. Have you tried the waffles
Pancake one's
pancake
really
flavor?
good.
It is. We have a friend who made a commercial for Halo Top, and ever since I've just been. That's what.
Oh, no, wait. I didn't realize that was Halo Top that he did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was Sweet Diva and Nancy. Like,
Yeah.
Oh my God.
it was a she asked and a question.
So we want to talk.
Go watch it.
Next question.
Chocolate chip cookies.
No one's asked, but me and Liam have been sharing a hotel room this weekend. I'm eager to share about that.
Our wives are several states away.
Different time zone doesn't count.
I don't think it's going to get any better than that. Good question.
Back over here.
Hi, I'm Angela. I'm from Chicago. I have a question for all of you. What's the weirdest personal experience that's influenced a personality trait for your characters, or Matt, in your case, a plot point?
Oh, interesting.
These are two difficult questions for 11 o'clock.
You're giving us too much credit.
Being pregnant made me make Jester like pickles. That was a fully pregnant clue.
The hospital sequence was based on a real teenage shenanigan, which began with the phrases, "And can anyone here vomit on command if it necessary?" Like with a little bit of prep, sure.
I would say the first arc of the new campaign came after I had an offhand, in-depth conversation about how strangely wonderful and dark the film Something Wicked This Way Comes was when it came out. If you haven't seen that film, it's technically a Disney film, but it's really dark and deals with a carnival that flows into town, and it gets weirder from there. Jonathan Pryce is in it, and it's amazing. Yeah. So the conversation with that kind of triggered my thought process on what I wanted to do my introduction for the new campaign.
What happens in this campaign?
The one you played.
But what happens next?
That was a good question. Well done. All right, so we're up here now.
Hello, I'm Jocelyn from Chicago. Hello. I was wondering what your favorite Studio Ghibli films were. Favorite Studio Ghibli films.
Favorite Studio Ghibli films?
Yeah.
Ooh, Porco Rosso.
Yeah.
Mononoke.
I like Spirited Away.
The Emoji Movie? It's unbelievable. It has all sorts of references to World War II.
I saw Nausicaa Valley of the Wind at a very young age. And something about just the imagery of that film still sticks with me today, so that's probably mine.
Over here.
Hi, I'm Katie from Woodstock. My question is for Laura, by the way, Travis, Laura, congratulations. Laura, you mentioned yesterday that for your character Jester, you practice your voice by doing singing, and I was wondering, what's Jester's favorite song, and can we hear you sing some.
No, that's terrible. Oh God. Okay. I don't want to sing it, but my favorite one to sing in the car is Popular. It's so great for Jester.
Spill it, girl, spill it.
Wait, now I don't remember the words. It's too
Popular.
No, I know that.
I wanna be popular.
Okay, fine. Oh God.
Whenever I see someone less fortunate than I, and let's face it, who isn't less fortunate than I? My tender heart tends to start to bleed. And when someone needs a makeover, that's Michaela. We have to take over. I know. Exactly what they need.
You have to understand that before Critical Role on Thursdays, as we're getting ready to leave our house, the Pandora Broadway Musicals channel is on in her bathroom. So this should not be surprising.
What's that? I can't remember.
Hi, I'm Richard from Ohio.
Hey, Richard.
And I want to say a shout out to my buddy Macaulay. And my question is for Sam. What phrases or things do you like doing more, either with shitting the bed or Burt Reynolds?
Do I prefer
Shitting the bed or Burt Reynolds?
pretending to be a mustached action hero from the 80s or defecating in people's beds?
Yes.
What a legacy you've left behind. Rich career.
Very binary choice here, Sam. This is the rest of your life.
Change the world and leave it in a better place.
Oh boy.
Hashtag role model.
What have I done, guys? Oh God. I could have created art or music or theater, but I've ruined my family name.
You're the voice of so many amazing brands.
My children will be shamed of me someday.
Tombstone, Sam Riegel, he shat on 3 minutes.
You are our Spuds McKenzie.
Pooping in beds, while amazing, has led to so many gifts of fake poo from critters that I prefer the gifts of fake mustaches, which I've also gotten a lot of, because those I can give to my son and pretend that he's an old man. Yes, but both are horribly embarrassing, and I But what's not embarrassing is my collection of fine t-shirts.
For your
have such a way with your words to put any listener or viewer in the adventure with all you guys. And I can, thank you. And my question is, what advice do you have to potential DMs on grasping that ability that you have?
Reading helps. Sorry, that came across really condescending. I didn't mean it that way. No, like honestly, reading a lot of books, you get a really good idea of how writers set scenes, how they describe atmosphere when a character enters a new scene. And that's the kind of same kind of narrative structure you want to lend to your players when they enter a new scene in the game and the campaign as well. So thinking and even making notes if you want to, that whenever they go to a new area, like I used to have long ago before I got more comfortable with it, a little list on my back when I master screen that said smells, sights, light, texture, temperature, you know, things that I can hit a few of those bullet pointed as soon as they enter a new scene, and that already kind of draws them in to the sequence. Their imaginations are already kind of sparked at that point. So that's a really good thing. Another, expand your vocabulary. Reading books once again helps with that as well. If there's a word you don't understand, you get to look it up and be like, oh, now I know that word. Or conversely, if you're a real nerd like me, just sometimes go to like thesaurus.com or dictionary.com and learn new words, because that's cool, damn it. Thank you.
Or you can make up a word like sickle.
You know what? Look, you kids have it much better today because now you have a little button you can press that says the word for you. We didn't have that growing up. You had to assume how it was pronounced based on the spelling.
You kids, the audience. You kids.
Yeah. If you weren't a kid, you know I wasn't talking to you.
You should have said ask Siri.
See? You got this.
The world is your oyster. Thank you very much. Next question.
Hi, it's Hannah from the Quad Cities. I'm the one who gave you guys the poster yesterday.
Oh yeah,
I'm asking a question for you, Travis, for my friend Sabine who had to leave yesterday, and for her friend Trisha Dish who couldn't get you guys at another convention.
Trisha Dish, my mom's name.
Yeah, she wanted to know what two people or characters would you or Grog want to arm wrestle with?
What two people or characters would Grog want to arm wrestle with?
Or you.
Or me? Well, Grog that's a much better fight. Me, not so much. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson would be one. And Schwarzenegger. Or like Predator Schwarzenegger. The atomic handshake arm wrestle. That would be lovely.
Good answer.
Thank you.
Right, over here. Hey, I'm Ian from Chicago. My question for you is, or for Matt, is as an aspiring DM, you're basically an inspiration for a lot of people. So what is your preparation for each session? How do you prepare?
It ranges. It's a lot easier for home games. When you're streaming it, your world building has to be very thorough, because a lot of people are going to be combing through it, finding plot holes, or trying to see, well, this doesn't make any sense. And I'm like, damn it. So for me, my world building takes about half my prep time every week. It's about just trying to lay the tracks ahead of the train, if you will. But for me, it's depending on, if they're in a city, it's a lot more prep. It's a lot more kind of open form if you're on a path. For me, it's figuring out what would be some interesting encounters that they can come across that challenges their skills, challenges their abilities. It doesn't hurt, especially, to tailor some abilities to specific classes so characters have a moment to shine if they know how to step into that space. Or they forget they have Mage Hand. That happens sometimes. Oh my god, could you imagine if Nock could force choke with that? Oh no, what have we done? But yeah, so thinking of interesting challenges, not just monsters. A monster is fun to fight, but sometimes it's cool to come up with terrain and possibly things in the terrain that are dangerous that can be used against or for the players in the battle. So for me, I think of interesting type of encounters, then narrative moments that those can fit into, and if they don't fit into the current narrative, I'll keep the notes for later. But I mean, it's a broad subject for a quick question. But if you check out the DM tips online, hopefully those will help out. Matt Colville has some great videos as well. If you haven't checked them out, they can help out from there. But focus on finding fun moments for your players that you can fit into the story is really kind of the key point. Hope that helps.
Thank you.
That was a good answer, Matthew.
It would have been a long question to answer.
There's a small child.
Got a little one.
Hi, my name is Zane, and I'm from Milton, and my question is, how fun is it to play Dungeons and Dragons and stream it?
How fun is it?
It's so fun.
It's really fun.
The best.
It may be the most fun I've ever had.
Pretty fun.
And Taliesin's had some fun. That speaks volumes.
This fun is way easier on my knees these days. Wow, that came out so much better. Yeah, I deserve that.
It's fun to play the game, but for me, it's fun to hang out with you guys most of all.
Yeah, we have a job that forces us to do our favorite thing on a weekly basis.
I'm Elliot. I live in Chicago. Laura and Travis, congratulations on impending parenthood.
Thank you.
My wife and I are actually due a few months after you. So my question.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
So's Cardi B.
Cardi B and I are like so close. But actually, my question is for Liam. I was wondering if you have any recommendations for introducing your kids to D&D and gaming. I started DMing after Critical Role. Just completely took me by storm, but I have players who are much older, so any tips would be welcome.
I'm so sorry. I only got about 5% of that. With kids?
Yeah, I'm going to be a dad, and I want to introduce my kid eventually to D&D, and I know you DM for your kids, so any recommendations would be great.
Wait till they're 3 months old.
Right.
If I may, thank you for asking Liam a question. The runway is waiting. That multimedia backpack.
That's even weirder with the shirt.
That's what their hotel room looks like.
You should have gone the runway as well.
Anyway, back to children. Back to children.
I weirdly felt that from here.
Yeah, it's a cantrip.
Dorian Gray shit going on.
Area of effect.
Worst Magic Mike sequel.
Read a lot of fantasy kids books to them. I really love the board game Dungeon, which is great for younger kids, but it has a lot of the basics of D&D baked into it, and that'll prep them, and then just help them make the character. I mean, there's no like real secret to it. Sand it down, don't terrify them, don't kill them right away. It took a year for me to scare my son with his character dying, which he loved when it happened. Just his friend. Yeah. That's it. I mean, like, there isn't any special, they're not going to remember everything and just don't care about them memorizing the rules. That's good advice for the internet as well. At its core, it's just about make-believe and having fun and letting your players make the choices, so that's easy to do.
I thought this was kind of cool for Patrick Rothfuss, who was playing with his son as well. If you remember, he made encounters that were puzzle-based encounters as opposed to just killing something encounters for very young kids. So as opposed to giving them a sword or a dagger, give them a magical rope that can tie itself. And then a series of encounters that they can use creative thinking outside of the box as a way of getting to the next part of the adventure without having to just kill what's in front of them, which I think was a cool method of very young kids, incorporating the idea of problem solving in the game.
Do you remember when Matt gave us the puzzle at home before the stream? He gave us like the Tangram puzzle that we had to solve, and we took so freaking long.
Yeah, I learned at that point maybe not all puzzles work with just certain groups.
Fourth graders are way smarter than us. He did something like that on the stream, and everyone mean more than usual, how stupid we are.
There were like seven pieces to that puzzle. It was like 7 really big square blocks, and the 4 of us took 45 minutes.
Yeah, we basically have that puzzle for my kids, and my son just looks at it and goes, plink, 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 plink.
Like
Well, your son's a
certain
genius.
group. He's gonna take us to Mars, though. That's okay. It's fine. Thank you.
Over here.
For Sam and Travis, Sam, how have you had to adapt from moving from the face of the party with Scanlan to the 5 charisma, is it, for not?
Yeah.
And then for Travis, how have you had to adapt to becoming sort of the presumed face of the party with Fjord having the highest charisma?
Fjord. Ford. It's tough. I am the babysitter.
Ford tough?
It's crazy. We're gonna make that a thing, aren't we? Yeah, it's I used to look forward to Thursdays because I could just turn off my intelligent adult brain and just go total applesauce moron for 4 hours, which was great. It comes with a lot of responsibility. Like I look at Marisha's notes and they're really like succinct and organized, and there's like colored pens and all this stuff, and mine is just like, oh god, names, locations, that's wrong. I'm getting all of Matt's store names wrong. I'm just committing to it because I just can't do it right. But it's nice because whatever any sort of strategy that I have, I can just jump into it because the character's it's built more for that, so that's good.
Yeah, from my perspective, it's being a naturally amazingly charismatic person in real life. It's a real big stretch to like just squash that down. Just don't be charming right now. It's a real challenge as a performer, and I'm getting better at it, but it's gonna take some time.
Thank you.
Over here.
Hi, my name is Mariah. I'm from Reno, Nevada. Hi. So my question is kind of complicated, but what would a interaction / first impression between your campaign 1 characters and your campaign 2 characters be? And for Matt, what would it be between like Gilmore and Pamat?
What's the last couple words?
Last 2?
Oh, like, and for you, Matt, like our favorite like store merchants, what would it look like if they were to like come up and be like,
Oh, like Gilmore and Vermont?
I think Ford would say, well, that's a pretty big bull right there. And I think Rob would say, he's pretty.
I feel like Bo would just do her classic, what's your deal? With Keith. Y'all did not drop it like it's hot, did ya?
Somebody had coffee this morning. That's amazing.
That's my wife,
Last night.
gentlemen.
Somebody's been having some music backstage.
Wow, that was amazing.
So one other thing, I'm actually the bumbling idiot that brought you guys those tacky dragon bowling shirts.
The Dragon Bowling shirts, yes!
Yeah. Oh,
That was great. How did that picture turn out?
pretty good actually.
Keyleth and Keyleth have anything to say to Bo?
What's your deal?
They both said that to each other?
Keels would say something overly complicated and too nice, and then Bo would just be over it.
Okay.
Wait, we went over this a little yesterday.
I literally don't even think he would have a word to just no. I don't think so.
Yeah, Scanlan would just run around trying to kill Nod, and Nod would try to run away, and that's pretty much it.
So listen, I think that we should go up, sneak in the backside, but keep a low profile.
I think Jester would see Vex and run up and try to hug her, and Vex would just hold her.
think Gilmore would be 4 of you. My goodness. I bet that makes it a lot cheaper on the overhead of running the actual store. Are you looking for a job, perhaps?
Well, you made a business, yeah.
Respectfully, I have my own establishment. But you're welcome to come by and see if you got something for trade.
I thought it was going in a completely different direction.
So did everybody else. Thank you.
There's only so much I can fuel the community, okay? I have to be careful with my word choices.
My name is Logan from St. Louis. I wanted to ask, back from the first campaign, was it Clarota's original intention to betray Vox Machina, or did the Mind Flayers have some sort of effect on that?
So for Clarota, there was a very, very small chance they could have maintained Clarota to their side, because inherently, as a Mind Flayer, an Illithid does not care about people. And working with the team was only purely out of self-preservation. So I was keeping track of the interactions with Clarota, seeing if they were able to work hard enough to try and really empathize with this creature and being outcast and shunned, and in the final moments made a final plea, and with a high enough persuasion roll, they might have given enough pause to where the Illithids would have turned against Clarota, and then would have probably joined their side. That didn't come to pass. But that's also kind of the fun nature of D&D. You prepare these possibilities and get excited about which one might come to fruition. Still made for an epic end to a betrayal, but yeah.
Oh my gosh, what if we would have persuaded Clarota and then he would have been a friend of ours the whole rest of the campaign?
Then you would have spent the whole campaign trying to somehow keep anyone from knowing that you have a Mind Flayer.
He turns into that friend. He just follows us everywhere, and we're like, now how do we get him out of the party?
I wish we would have had him. We could have true polymorphed him or something.
Eventually.
Eventually.
Just wait 2 years, Clarota. I'll get this spell.
We could have just put a Santa Claus beard over all
A strangely shifting Santa Claus beard?
He needed to die. Thank you very much.
Brenda from Illinois. I'm Normal, Illinois. My question is...
First off, amazing trinket with bows costume.
How can you see that?
True sight.
I was wondering, what's your favorite thing that your character's ever done? Like a spell you use in a unique way or whatever?
Favorite thing your character's ever done? Campaign 1 or 2?
Boy, the cannonball contest was pretty awesome. That was really fun.
Feeble-minding Rajan, probably?
Winning the hearts of America.
Such a dick.
Teleporting into a dragon.
All right. Yeah. Kill shot on Kevdak.
Mine feeds on that. I think Grog and the Pokeball was one of my favorites.
That was crazy.
I enjoyed doing the tra-la-la-la-la.
It just can't be touched. That was absurd. I'm gonna miss you, spellcasting bard.
I know.
I still kind of regret in our battle royale where Tyrion did the hamster ball and that we didn't just all wait 10 rounds.
Sure.
We took on.
I hold my turn. I hold my turn. I hold my turn. Just around
Would have been so easily killed.
Staring down.
Hey, why did we do that? You guys can't do this. Yes, we can.
Good question, thank you.
Hi, I'm Mick, and I live in Chicago. And before I ask my question, I just have one message to send to Liam O'Brien from my sister Shem over there. Raise her hand. And she's German maid.
major, and she loves speaking German, and she just wants to say that she really appreciates Caleb speaking German. So yeah, that. Now, on to the question.
Okay, yeah.
Awesome.
Sorry guys, it's a little hard to hear.
Oh, sorry. Oh, so yeah, she just appreciaes that Caleb speaking German.
Yeah, okay, danke, yeah, that's good. Okay.
Yeah, okay. So, I would just like to ask, since I've joined my first campaign this year, so I'm a D&D noob, I started as a bard, and I would just like to ask, is there some kind of bard's guide to survival for dummies from you guys?
Bard's Guide to Survival? Is that what
Be best friends with a giant.
Yeah, I mean, choose some healing spells and stay away from the fight. I guess I didn't. I lived. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, well, you did that. You stayed away from the fight.
Yeah.
You chose some healing spells.
Yeah.
And you rode that fine line between annoying and endearing. Which I think is a very important thing for a bard.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Are we talking Sam or Scanlan?
Good point.
Yes.
Hi. My name is Sarah. I'm actually way up from Wisconsin. Real quick, I just want to say, Laura, my friend Gaston actually crocheted you a nice little dice bag. It's nice and pink. I'm hoping this can get to you at some point before I leave.
Yes, totally.
But my question, because I know this will inspire her to do some fan fiction. Modern AU, what jobs would each of your characters have?
What job in the modern world would each of your characters have?
Yeah, our new characters.
Bo would be a postal worker.
Disgruntled.
But like the one you always see videos of online that like shuts the packet from 15 feet away.
Hunting people's Amazon
Yep.
orders. Yeah.
I guess Ford would work for the CIA. I mean, he just changes his face all the time.
Yeah. Molly would be teaching fire spinning on Venice Beach.
Caleb would either work for DARPA or perhaps be like Christian Bale in the movie Moneyball. He would be barefoot in the office looking at 1,000 numbers and figuring out how to work the stock market.
Taylor, so she can have buttons.
I don't know, maybe I would work in like a candy store or something. Or just like not work and like freeload off of her mom.
Trust fund, baby.
Would it be alright if I came up to give this to Laura?
Yeah.
Jamie, go ahead,
right
Jamie.
here will help you out.
Thank you so much.
Awesome.
You look awesome, by the way.
Thank you. Oh yeah.
Hi, I'm Eric from Indiana. Hi, and I'm a teacher at a middle school, and I run a campaign for some of the kids. But it can get pretty chaotic because there's between 9 and 14 kids that like to show up. Like the last session I DM'd, there was a kid that had to leave his phone on, and his text tone was the Seinfeld ditty, and it kept interjecting, including at the climactic moment. So it was like the spell scroll takes effect in. So my question is, one, Matt, do you have any advice for wrangling excessive amounts of players? And two, has anything ever worked out where not so much that you intended, but because it happened just so perfectly, kind of like that Seinfeld moment?
Well, for one, wrangling players is part of the challenge of DMing, especially on that size. One is if anybody else is ever interested in DMing in that group or someone else you know, you could always split into 2 separate groups and make it manageable for both of you. If not, you really have to ask the players to be present and, kind of respect the time you're putting into the game. And, especially if you're younger, it can be kind of hard. We'd be like, guys, up front, either take the phones at the beginning of the game and give them back when it's done. If the scenario works out well. And if you have a way of rewarding them for being vigilant in that also helps. Dangle the carrot, if you will. And simplifying the rules a bit. As opposed to having them roll damage for every attack, you can have like a set damage number. As opposed to rolling a d6 for a short sword, they just do 4 damage, plus whatever the modifier is. That way, all they're doing is rolling for attack to see if they hit or miss. With spells as well, if you set numbers for different abilities, it takes up less time on a combat round. And I mean, yeah, there's a lot of actually some really good videos online for how to deal with larger group sizes and how to kind of minimize the work you have to put into it, keeping the game going. So go ahead and do some research on YouTube as well. There's some good stuff on there that can go a lot better than I can in my short time for the question and answer. But hopefully those few tips will help push you in that direction.
Cattle prods are good.
Cattle prods are great. Oh, yeah.
There are
May get in trouble for that one, but middle school.
Kind of going off of what Liam said earlier, though, there are a lot of other kind of simpler role-playing games that if you have like a batch of brand new kids that never touched anything before, just to get them into the mood of role-playing and making choices that have consequences, there are a lot of simpler games, like the Dread system, for example, or even Honey Heist, yeah, that we played. It's D6, and that's all it is. Or even, we're running it on Geek and Sundry right now, the Weave Society, the Weave game, because it's just, there's no mechanics. You can like pre-generate a character, and it gets them in the flow of role-playing before you start throwing a bunch of math and modifiers at it. Not that you asked me, but...
Anyway, thank you.
Awesome, bud.
This is the last question for the panel.
We're sorry, everyone.
Hi, I'm Maggie. I'm from St. Louis. I'm the Sunflower 94 online. My question is for all the players. I saw on Thursday Liam posted a YouTube video for a song that reminded him of Caleb, and I wanted to know if there was, you guys have started either officially or personally playlists for your new characters, and if we could please know at least one song that you
Playlist songs, wow.
Yeah, I think we're all pretty obsessed with
I'm like 80 tracks in on mine right now.
I know Liam has a lot too.
I got about 20 songs and I'm listening to it to figure out which ones to pull out. And also, it's too soon, probably. I feel like we have to, all of us, reveal a little bit more before we can launch.
And like reveal some of our backstory before that.
So please,
another 10 or 12.
Do you have a song each that you think you can reveal?
I could do, I will follow him. Follow him wherever he may go.
I am choosing, so there's a singer named Lenka who is just perfect for Jester. So like her whole album, I'm like, oh, I don't know which one to pick. But probably listen to Trouble is a Friend by Lenka. That's one of Jester's tops.
Which one? A few. Oh, yeah. I have, going off of what Liam tweeted the other day, I also have a K-Flay song.
Whoa.
On my, what is that? I also have a K-Flay song on my playlist, which is Blood in the Cut.
Yeah, oh god, that's so perfect.
Yeah.
That's straight up Beauregard, yeah.
He's looking.
I'm debating between giving one that might be slightly spoilery for
Don't do it, don't do it.
Just for fun, just because, actually this one's pretty funny. I have a joke one that I'll give, which is Liam Lynch's I'm All Bloody Inside is pretty, which is a ridiculous song that I'm a big fan of. So, yeah.
Oh man, I think our time is up.
Oh no. Oh guys.
Look, it's at 0 now. We don't have any more time.
That's unfortunate.
We love you. We love you.
We have a live stage panel and we'll be at the tables the rest of the time, so please come out and see us.